What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dog Pound discussions. You already know the name, or at least you should. I'm, of course, Derek, and listen, I tried to do some work. I tried to do some polling, get a special guest on the show. I wasn't able to get him. I tried to get Bigfoot, but instead with me today is Littlefoot, Tony Battaglio. How are you doing, sir?
I can't say what I want to say, or we'll probably get a cut. Okay.
I think the resemblance is pretty good. I mean, for the for a Snapchat edit,
Okay.
that's pretty decent. All right.
Okay.
Well, nevertheless, Tony, Littlefoot, Kung Fat Panda, whatever you want to call yourself. We got some stuff to get into. So, why don't you kick us off here? A lot of stuff going on in the NFL. A lot of stuff with the Browns. Oh, it gets better. You think that's bad? Just wait. Just wait, Tony.
It's gonna be a fun episode, isn't it?
Well, all right. I'll kick us into it. So, in the NFL, owners' meetings, all that jazz happened. Tons of fun, and couple rule changes that we need to discuss. So, one of them, teams are now allowed a third challenge if the first one and second, if one of the first or second are successful. I believe I read that right.
Spit it out.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, it makes sense. I guess you're not punishing anybody for getting a challenge right. Makes sense.
I like it. I think it's interesting, kind of adopting the baseball rule in a way where if your first challenge is successful, you get a second one.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, to be honest with you, but one that I do think is a very big deal. The NFL trade deadline has indeed been moved to after week 9. This one is a pretty big deal, and I'll reference the Browns real fast. Deshaun Watson goes down post trade deadline, out for the season post trade deadline. Again, it worked out with Flacco, but hypothetically, if the Browns had a chance to trade for Jacoby Brissett after knowing Deshaun was out, would things have gone a little bit different last year? What do you think about it, Tony?
Oh, I definitely think they would have made a trade for someone like Brissett, or potentially even, Winston, if New Orleans was willing to deal him in that situation. But, it's huge, but it isn't. I mean, you're moving it back a week, so it's something different. It'd be good for teams that get, that week 8 injury, lose a quarterback, lose a running back, lose a wide receiver, need to make a trade. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. I don't feel like that's the biggest rule change of the year. I think there's some more that we haven't really got into that are going to affect the game a lot more. Like the replay assistant one, you can now correct roughing the passer and intentional grounding. That's going to be massive, and that's going to probably be either going to hate it or love it late in the game if it costs your team or if it helps your team. So how do you feel about that one in particular?
Yeah, I mean, some of these roughing the passer calls in particular have gotten a lot of players all pissed off and a lot of fans pissed off for good reason. So I feel like the ability for officials to come in and be like, hey, replay says this, I feel like it's going to help more than it's going to hurt. But, there are a lot of situations where there's a lot of gimmies. And as much as it hurts your team, if you get a roughing the passer called on you, it's also going to help your team if, it's a call in the past that was called. And now they can take a look at it and say, no, Myles Garrett didn't rough the passer on that play. So
no, Myles Garrett clearly didn't try to hit Mason Rudolph with his helmet. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can review that and go back and listen to the audio. No, I'm just kidding.
That the NFL won't release.
Yeah,
for some weird reason.
It's conspiracy theory time on the podcast, but but with intentional grounding, you could say the same thing. It's gonna help and it's gonna hurt.
Well, yeah. Let's get into the biggest, perhaps the most effective rule change, the new kickoff rule. How do you feel about that?
I don't like it. I
I
don't
love it.
really.
Yeah, it's going to make kick returns more exciting. We're not going to get 500 touchbacks a game.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll give you that. It's gonna make it more exciting, but I don't know. I mean, for me, I think this puts more of an emphasis on special teams as far as your alignment goes, because special teams coaches, they're a dime a dozen, right? And it is what it is. Some special teams is better than others, but I feel like it's a lot easier as far as trying to defend a return if your guys are running full speed. Now, obviously, they took that out for health reasons, but now you're kind of man on man situation, right? We saw this in the
Yeah,
XFL.
and you can't move until the ball's touched either. So
Yeah. So if you get some good thick boys up front blocking for you, there could be a lot of returns
yeah,
this year in the NFL.
get some Austinos on the line.
Mm-hmm. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not a fan, but it's something I don't like change. So it's something I'll get used to and be fine with. But oh well. The one that not fine with, Tony, I'm sure you're gonna agree on this one. Hip drop tackle
Yep.
has
Stupid.
has now
Stupid.
been
Stupid.
banned.
Stupid. That is such a just ticky tacky type thing that, oh, he dropped to one knee to make the tackle. Let's throw a flag. Like, that is going to ruin the game. That is going to ruin so many late classic drives or fucking defensive stops. Or I think it's stupid. I don't like it. And you can't review something like that. So who's to say, oh, 4th and 21, the Browns are on defense, have to go for it to make, or the other team has to go for it. Browns need to stop to make the playoffs. Other team needs to get a touchdown to make the playoffs. JOK makes a beautiful tackle 2 inches in front of the first down line. All of a sudden, the hip drop tackle, 15-yard penalty. The other team has new life. It's going to be so ticky tacky and touchy, and you don't know when the flag could come out. There's going to be plays where it should come out when it doesn't. There's going to be plays where it doesn't, or it shouldn't come out and it does. It's going to be weird. I don't like it. At this point, just give them flags and let them pull flags off their waist instead of, you can't tackle anymore. You can't play defense. You can't play defense in the NFL. You can't play defense in the NBA. You can't play defense in any major American sport anymore because, offense drives ratings, touchdowns drives ratings, buckets drives ratings, whatever you want to say. It's stupid. I'd much rather watch a game that's 0-0 with two defenses going back and forth than a game that's like 50-50 with a half a quarter left because you can't play defense. You can't touch quarterback, can't touch the wide receiver, can't tackle, can't do this, can't do that. It's dumb. It's too much of a opinion foul in my opinion. But yeah, too much of one ref's gonna throw it, one ref's not. There's no clear written rule to tell me what's a hip drop tackle. What does this guy consider a hip drop tackle? What does this guy consider a hip drop tackle? It's stupid.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this is we've seen some injury prone tackles, I guess is the way to describe it, from some real, like, got a guy at his waist and you drop him like a hip drop, but his legs are wrapped onto you, right? We've seen that. But at the same time, I would argue you could probably say a good 80% of the tackles that have been made in the NFL, you could argue are hip drop tackles. So
Yeah, and they're plays that nobody gets hurt, so nobody notices.
exactly, yeah. So how are they going to consistently call this fairly is the question I have. Because if this is a situation where it's egregious only and you're just throwing a guy down, and you're wrapping his leg behind you, you know what I mean? If it's that, okay, but to what you said, there's going to be no consistency. If we're sitting here trying to argue, hey, well, it's only for these situations, please give me one example, one, where NFL officiating has called a current rule to the same standard across the league. It doesn't
Yeah, no,
happen.
you're not going to see that.
No. So I think this is a disaster. I think this is going to
I agree.
make this season. You're going to have to put up points. I think that's just what it
Yeah.
comes down to. If you're going to win games, you got
Everything's
to
going
put
to
up
be an
points.
offensive shootout, essentially.
Yeah, and I mean, tackling is important, right? Teaching tackling, breaking down, wrapping up, driving your legs. That's important to teach. That's why it's taught so particularly high at a low level of football. I remember, middle school biddy football going over tackling drills over and over and over and over and over. Hey, these guys are in the NFL. Denzel Ward ain't going to be tackling Mark Andrews how you want him to tackle. Like, he's going to have to find a way. You going to flag it every time? I mean,
And it's another one of those things that goes back to it's an opinion flag. Are certain players going to get the benefit of the doubt more often than not? If you drop to one knee tackling Patrick Mahomes, are they going to send you to the firing squad? Like,
yeah.
it's going to be so opinionated.
Yeah.
It's essentially the roughing the passer shit where you can't touch Tom Brady, otherwise it's a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah. I think we'll find out beginning of the year how bad it is because they're going to have to find.
We'll see in
something.
preseason just how dumb it will be.
Yeah. If you had to put money on it, though, before we move on, if you had to put money on it, is this the rule after next year? Do you think they keep this rule? Because
I think it's an experimental thing, and I think it'll end up getting dropped.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start seeing millions of flags. And anyways, moving on to some Cleveland Browns news. The Cleveland Browns have gotten global media rights in Nigeria. What is so funny, Derek?
Nothing.
You were scared I was going to pronounce that differently, weren't you?
Anyway, yeah. So I think this is a great thing. And I'll leave it at that. I think it's great. Tony, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we're growing the game in Africa. I think it's a really good idea to expand the global reach of the game, and I love the idea of being able to do that. And I don't know if the Browns are the perfect team to do it in Nigeria. I do find that kind of weird and random that, a team in the Browns would just. Fuck me. God damn it. I'm not having a good day. There we go.
Well,
you think I could find the hole after 2 kids.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to have to cut that part for the record. All right. Let's take a second and restart this. Okay. So the Browns getting global media rights in Nigeria, I think it's great. I think it's going to grow the global reach of the NFL. And, the Browns have one of the biggest fan bases in the world already. And Derek, what is so fucking funny?
Keep going.
Okay. Quit laughing, Grandma SquarePants. Anyways, yeah, great for the game. Great for the Browns. This dickhead just turned his camera off. So, Derek, how do you feel about the situation then? I want more insight from you on this.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
Folks, I can't believe we've made it 6 episodes.
Okay, take 2. Well, yeah. I did think it was kind of random that the Browns were chosen to be the African team, but hey, trying to make my my sister Browns fan is going pretty well. So none of you will understand that, but you
Derek's from South Africa.
Yeah, you boys got roots over there. So the Browns going over there. Go figure. They knew. No, I'm just kidding. Let's move on past this, please. So now making the playoffs will no longer guarantee a team won't be on Hard Knocks. So you could see some playoff teams on Hard Knocks. Okay.
I don't like it. I think it's kind of a distraction, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. How do you feel about it?
I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. I haven't watched Hard Knocks since we were on.
Oh, yeah, I don't watch it either, but it's definitely, I think it's like a distraction type thing for teams that are trying to focus on a playoff run.
I mean, I honestly, if you want my real opinion, how do you make Hard Knocks interesting? Make the number one overall pick team have Hard Knocks.
Yeah. So
I
Chicago this year.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to see? I mean, as much as some people love him, some people hate him, whatever you want to say about him. As far as views and trying to get revenue and attention from it, who wouldn't want to see a newly Caleb Williams into the NFL and training camp with the Chicago Bears? I mean, the Browns have been doing it.
I
It
want a
was
30-minute
building the
episode
Browns.
of Caleb Williams getting a pedicure.
You're just mad because you have something in common with him. You both love getting your nails done. Um. Oh no! Don't. We just lost all viewership from that. Thanks. Anyway, this is a big topic that's going on right now. A lot going into this. So the Browns looking at a new stadium. There's a couple different options here. So Jimmy Haslam, owner of the Cleveland Browns, is proposing two options for a new stadium. Either a $1 billion renovation to current Cleveland Browns Stadium, formerly First Energy Stadium, or building a domed stadium directly outside of Cleveland in Brook Park is pretty much the guaranteed spot where it would be. So there's a lot going into this, but let's just start off right off the bat. Tony, would you rather have current Brown Stadium on the lake renovated, make it look really, really updated and nice, or would you rather have a domed stadium?
Well, I think you know how I feel about this. Definitely want a dome. Hashtag we want dome. Make sure to drop that in the comments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. For me, here's the thing. There's something special about that stadium and where it's at. Having the
Yeah,
lake on
but
one side, city on the other.
I'm so tired of hearing people, well, it ruins our home field advantage if we get a dome. Because, we all want to go to games in negative 30-degree weather, and the players want to play in that weather, obviously, too.
Yeah.
For the home field advantage, where we got beat by a team from New Orleans a couple years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being picky. I like where the stadium's at. I like going to the Muni lot. It's a ton of fun. But listen, I was pissed at the Bills that they didn't build a dome because I think it's stupid to have your fans shoveling out your stadium and then not build a dome. We can say the same for us, so I guess I'd be hypocritical.
No. I want a lakefront stadium with a dome. You know what? Actually, put the stadium in the middle of the lake.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that idea before. Okay. So, getting into the nitty-gritty here and the details of this. So, there's a lot of politics, a lot of stuff going in here. So, Cleveland Councilman Brian Casey, I think is his name, is introducing new legislation to prevent the Browns from leaving Cleveland before the lease ends in 2028. Now, just to clarify, right, this is their Art Modell law or legislation, whatever you want to call it. Now, the wording in that, key words there, leave Cleveland. Now, you might be saying to yourself, they ain't
Not
leaving
again.
Cleveland. They're not leaving Cleveland. Well, what they're trying to do here, again, this is the politics side of things, they are trying to essentially say that the Cleveland Browns moving from right by the lake to Brook Park is leaving Cleveland. So they're trying to do that. And another thing with it, the Haslams would need permission from city council to do it, is what they're trying to enforce here. Or he would be forced to sell the team. So that's kind of a loaded topic there, Tony. Just in general, kind of the politics behind this. What do you think happens at the end of the day? What do you think happens?
Well, like I said, wishful thinking. I hope we get a lakefront stadium with a dome.
Yeah.
I don't see this team moving to Brook Park. I've been saying this for months. I think that land that was purchased in Brook Park will be a soccer-specific stadium, not a football stadium. I think they're just trying to strong arm the city by saying, "Hey, we'll move if you don't, help us pay for this new lakefront stadium." I'd love a lakefront stadium, dome, no dome. I wish we had a dome, man. It would open up so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Final Four, concerts all year. Instead of just a football stadium, we can only use 9, 8 times a year in cold weather, half of them. It's frustrating. Obviously, I don't think they're going to sell the team. I think that's the
No.
last thing that'll happen. And if they do, then so be it. Whatever. I'm okay with that. Everything he kind of has a hand in kind of crumbles. I mean, except for the Crew. I mean, they won that MLS Cup, but
Yeah.
no, I don't think the team will get sold. I don't think they're moving to Brook Park. I think we're gonna get our lakefront stadium, and the city's gonna end up covering the majority of the cost, and I think that'll be the end of discussion. There's no way this team is ever going to leave Cleveland again, not even for Brook Park. And there's so many other better suburbs you could go to, because why Brook Park of all places, next to an airport, where it'd be hard enough to get a dome. Speaking of players that will be playing no matter where the Cleveland Browns play,
Hopefully.
Nick Chubb gonna get some load running this month. I don't know exactly what that means coming from Andrew Barry. Derek, whatever load running means, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that a conditioning?
Very, very interesting terminology from Andrew Barry. I would like more of clarification just to make sure it's not what we're all thinking. But nevertheless, so yeah, listen. Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. Reports are he's doing good for where he's at. I'm a bit concerned with Deshaun Watson on the team and Nick Chubb doing some load running. But, all in all, if Nick Chubb is doing any sort of physical activity,
It's a good thing.
That's a good thing. And, the next 3 months, they say, are critical to his availability for the start of the season. I don't think he's starting the season. I don't think he plays in the first, give or take 3 to 4 games, kind of that first quarter of the year. So, I don't know. I mean, I want the best for Nick Chubb, but at least for me, I'm not rushing him back whatsoever. I think you can win without him, and that's not a disrespectful thing to him. That's the testament to the talent on this team.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do him dirty. You don't want to force him back, put him in a situation where he could re-injure an already gone knee. Like, you don't want that. You don't want that.
No, I agree completely. And I think they should baby him on his comeback and maybe not even make him the featured back this season, as crazy as that sounds. Yeah. Use him when you need him, essentially. But a more interesting topic here, other than, whatever Andrew Barry is trying to do to Nick Chubb over the offseason. The Browns are bringing back white face mask, potentially, and maybe a more glossier look on the helmet. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so it's funny. Just a quick story here. Easter Sunday, I walk in. My youth pastor, who is a Browns fan, always corners me and forces me to talk to him about the Browns. No, he doesn't corner me in the Notre Dame way, Tony. But anyway.
Interesting at 22, you're in the youth room.
No, I wasn't. I was walking in. Whatever. You get the point. But anyway. So he comes up to me and he's like, "Yeah, I see the Browns are doing a uniform change." And I go, "No?" I was like, "No?" He goes, "Yeah, I saw it this morning." And I go, "No, they're not doing a uniform change. They're doing a helmet change." And he was like, "Oh, okay. I thought we were getting new uniforms." So, for any confusion out there, if you are living under a rock and or over the age of 50 and don't understand what's going on, they're not getting new uniforms. Like, the uniforms are staying the same, but the helmet is changing. I love the white face masks. I tweeted out, start of the offseason, 3 things that the Browns need to do this offseason. A, number 2 receiver. B, white face masks. C, orange jerseys. 2 of the 3 are seemingly complete. Now, this is where the debate comes in. And I don't know, maybe we'll disagree on this, Tony. I don't like the glossy look. I like the matte orange helmet with the
I
white
agree.
face mask. It's too clean.
I do agree with you there. Speaking of uniform changes, I'll never forgive the franchise for those ungodly ones they tried to roll out like 6, 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Remember those awful ones?
The ones where they came over like here. Now listen,
Yeah.
dude.
And it said like the block
Cleveland.
letter, like Cleveland across the
Mhm.
front, and then it's Browns and small writing. Yeah, that was awful.
Dude, the thing about those uniforms that pissed me off is if they didn't come over the sleeves here and they just stopped on the shoulder, they wouldn't look bad. They wouldn't be great, but they wouldn't look as bad as whatever. I don't know. Definitely not the right fit at the time for the Cleveland Browns, but they did indeed find their fit. And Tony, would you please do me the honor of telling the people where they can find their fit?
Well, you can find your fit at 2onefits.com. Rep the city of Cleveland, rep the Guards, rep the Browns, rep the Cavs, rep the Lake, rep whatever you want, women in sports, however you feel. Like 2onefits.com, find your fit. This is a 2onefits shirt. I do not believe this is available on the website anymore. This is an original Guardians one. There's so much incredible merch on the website, even if you can't grab this. And if you reach out to the owner, he may make you a custom one. And, you can also get your DF Sports merch on the website, because I know I'd get yelled at if I didn't point that out.
Well, I'm about to yell at you for half your damn beard being in your shirt. There you go. There.
Find your fit at 2onefits. Look at this amazing Cleveland Guardians shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, find your fit.
Can't get a better ad read, Slark. Love you. All right. Well, we have a interesting new segment coming up here. We're waiting for him to jump in.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, here with speaking from the ether, this is the, I guess, strictly by definition, producer of this show, here with a new segment to try out. It's going to be dumb as hell, but let's go for it. So, pulled this segment called It Came From X. So, what I'm going to present to Derek and Tony here are some hilarious tweets from athletes across the sports spectrum. So I got some treats for you guys. So I got 3 tweets for you. So 2 of them are NBA players and 1 of them is an NFL player. So that's all the hints I'm going to give you.
Take a guess on who that is.
I just got to try to... Well, we'll see. So we're going to start off here with a bit of a doozy. Yeah, just a taste for the first time, a smoothie. Man, God bless America.
That has to be Joel Embiid, man.
You know what's funny? Let's use our context clues here, Tony. All right? Let's think this through. First of all, spelling, not great, right? Second of all, food reference. Thinking thick man here. I'm going Zion Williamson.
I still think it's Joel Embiid. There's no way that's Zion. There's no way that's the first time he's had a smoothie.
Oh, you know what? Good point. You're right. I think we
It
got this
has to
totally
be
backwards. It's got to be somebody super skinny then. First time
It's
eating
Embiid.
a smoothie?
I'm telling you, it's Embiid.
Well, I am sorry to say that you are both wrong, and it is Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What?
All right.
It was a huge thing with the Bucks that he and this was maybe a year or 2. I don't remember when he started in the league, but yeah, it was a huge thing about him having a smoothie, and he was obsessed in the city of Milwaukee with smoothies.
2014. Jeez.
Yeah, he's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. All right,
How
well,
old
you
were you in
guys
2014, Tony? 45? I was 12. Don't get excited. All right, next.
Yeah, you guys sucked on that one, so maybe it'll be a little bit better on this one. Today, the Creed Greatest Hit album was playing during the team lift. Today was a good day.
Now this dude knows what
That's
he's
a white
talking
guy.
about.
This dude is white. It's got to be like JJ Redick or something.
Is this NBA or NFL?
This is
Can
NFL.
you give us that?
Oh, well, okay.
Hmm.
Matthew Stafford, maybe?
I'm gonna.
Close. I'll give you that. Close.
Okay, so honky quarterback. All right. I'm gonna go out on a limb. Well, no, that wouldn't fit. Let's see. I'm gonna say Josh Allen. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen, a good Wyoming boy, bumping some Creed in the locker or in the weight room.
Yeah, I could see. Derek Carr. I'll go Derek Carr.
Man, both of you are so bad at this because it is Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's who I was gonna say.
Okay.
That's who I was gonna say, but I decided against it because he's no longer Kirk Cousins. He's Drip Cousins, and brother, damn it, I was gonna go Kirk Cousins.
All right, well, this is for all the marbles. Last one, another NBA player, Scarlett Johansson. I will drink your bathwater. #random.
I have seen this tweet before.
Yeah, so have I.
I don't remember from who though.
Why do I feel like it's like Kevin Durant or something?
Um.
Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, can we get a hint? We're dumb.
He is an all-star, possibly Hall of Fame caliber player.
So that checks out with Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I'll go Kevin.
I'm gonna go James Harden. I don't know why I feel like James Harden would say something like that.
Ding, ding, ding to Tony. It is Kevin Durant.
Durant. Yep.
Got one.
Congratulations, Stone Man.
And congratulations. And that concludes this random segment that we might throw in here. If it's a mainstay, cool. If not, great. Let us know in the comments if you like this section, and back to your regular programming.
So basically, that was Jacob saying if Tino wants to do work or not, is if that segment wants to be included.
that's the Ostino call out. Remember that, fat boy.
Yeah, Thicky.
Thicky Hill.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, let's talk about breakout candidates for the Cleveland Browns. Derek, who are your breakout candidates for the 2024 season?
So, for me, let's go offense first. Let's go offense first, and then we'll go defense. So, for me, we do have some in common here, surprisingly enough. I'm going Jerry Jeudy for me, number one. Jerry Jeudy is like an easy one to point out, right? A guy for 15th overall pick, was okay, was great at times on a horrible Denver Broncos team, comes into Cleveland, weapons around him, Deshaun Watson coming back. I think Jerry Jeudy is set to break out. I think he gets over 1,000 yards. I think he's looking at maybe close to 1.2 as far as yards go, but I think Jerry Jeudy is a huge breakout candidate. Tony, who's your first?
See, I don't have Jerry Jeudy, but I do have another wide receiver, and that is Cedric Tillman. I think this is the year that Tillman finally gets things going. It's his second year in the league. He's got to get some increased playing time. He's got to be more of a factor because, guys like Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku are going to be double covered. Amari Cooper is going to be double covered. Tillman's going to have his opportunities, and he has to make the most of it, and I believe he will.
Yeah, I agree. I also have Cedric Tillman on my list. I put him on my list over somebody like a David Bell or an Elijah Moore strictly because currently, as we stand, the Browns don't really have an X receiver. I'm talking that big guy on the outside that you can rely on the jump ball situations. Go back and watch Tillman in college. That's what he did best. His average depth of target, I want to say, was like 17 yards. So this is a guy who has thrown the ball downfield in contested catch situations. He's dealt with an injury, right? He got hurt at Tennessee, so coming off of that injury, didn't really do a whole lot for us in year one. A little bit disappointing to some people. Don't write him off. He's still a good talent. At this current moment, he fits a role for this team. So I think he'll get more balls. Pause.
So I have another wide receiver for my number two, and that is Elijah Moore. He was really hyped coming in, and he was very underwhelming last season during his first year with the Browns. Injury problems, just never really got it going for Cleveland, and I really think he needs to improve this season, or he may no longer be a member of the roster after the year. He's definitely got to improve on that, just rough performance from last season, and he's got to show why we brought him in to be the playmaker that he can be.
Yeah, I left Elijah Moore off my list. I like him a lot. I think he's uber talented. He's just got to put it together. Until I see him put it together, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Especially, you look at it, right, he's going to play in the slot, but Cooper's going to be open. Njoku's going to be open. Judy's now on this team. I almost wonder if his role kind of fizzles out for the Browns. I really do.
We'll see. My number 3, and this coincides with the new kickoff rule, Naheem Hines. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to make his name known in the special teams department with this new rule. He will likely be back there returning kicks this season. And with this new rule, we could see a boost in kickoff returns for touchdowns or big returns that set up great drives. And that's where he's going to be so important this season for the Cleveland Browns. Derek, who's your number 3 on offense?
Yeah, my number 3 is somebody who, I mean, opinions on him are very varied, if that makes sense. And that's Jerome Ford. I think Jerome Ford is going to get a lot of reps this year. We already mentioned it. Nick Chubb, very good chance he could not play a lot early on in the year. I think the combination of Jerome Ford's shiftiness and ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, combined with Dante Foreman, downhill runner, that physical guy, I think Ford's going to get involved a lot. It's a more pass-heavy offense that we're going to. I think you're going to see Ford on the field a significant amount. I think he takes a step. He's had a year under his belt as a quote-unquote starter, if you will. Not really, but kind of getting starting reps. I think he takes a step up. I think some of the issues we had last year with him get cleaned up a bit. And I think he contributes. I think he does something for this team this year.
Shifting to the defensive side of the football, I have Alex Wright as my number 1. A lot of hype coming out of college, a guy that we all looked at as a potential replacement as the number 2 D end, and he's been making some strides throughout his first couple years with the team, and I think he will continue to make those strides this season, and I think he will be relied upon heavy in a rotational setting at the defensive end position. I think he's a gamer, he's a playmaker, and he's going to do big things for Cleveland in 2024.
Yeah, my number 1, sticking on that defensive line as well, same position, different player here, Obo Okoronkwo, I have as a breakout. Now, you could argue that last year was kind of a breakout for him, getting in rotation, but to your point about Alex Wright, and I totally agree, I think this rotation at defensive end is immaculate. Like, it's going to be perfect because you have the right combination with Alex Wright as kind of like your run stopper. You have the veteran in Zadarius Smith. Obviously, Miles is Miles. But then Obo Okoronkwo, your speed rusher, guy who's going to fly to the football. We saw many times last season where Obo got to the quarterback, made an impact, and at the very least, he was in the quarterback's face. He was blowing up plays with pressure. When you have a guy with that skill set and you can rotate in and out and keep guys fresh, that is incredibly valuable. Zadarius Smith, we re-signed him 2 years, but he's been banged up at times. I think both Obo and Alex Wright get some significant playing time. I think they're going to use them in the ways they should be used best, and I think they're going to make an impact. So I agree with you. But Tony, who is your second defensive guy?
My number 2 is Siaki Ika. I thought he was going to be more of a contributor last season for the Cleveland Browns, but he ended up being a healthy scratch the majority of the time, and I would like for him to be more of a contributor this upcoming season. It's nice to have a big man in the middle who can plug holes. He's going to be a good run stopper. If we could just pair him up there with Alstino, it would be great.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. My number 2 defensive player, I cheated. I took 2 guys because I couldn't decide between the 2. So I'm just going to put them both. The first guy, he was kind of forgotten about last year, I feel like, and that's Juan Thornhill. Juan Thornhill was a guy who was a significant role player for the Kansas City Chiefs in their Super Bowl runs, plural. Not last year, obviously. He was a member of the Browns, but he was banged up. I think when he played, he was okay. He was solid. The way that Jim Schwartz runs his defense, it is meant for a safety like Juan Thornhill to come in and be that kind of, cleanup man. And I think that's the role that he played well in it with the Chiefs, and I think he's going to do that here. I think he's just got to stay healthy. Now, my part two, if he does not stay healthy, and I think there will be a rotation between these two, is Rocket Ronnie Hickman. I am a big fan of Ronnie Hickman. I wanted us to draft him. He was a UDFA. We bring him in, plays great in the preseason, plays great for the Browns when he was in the regular season. And listen, Tony, you watch as much college ball as I do. Ronnie Hickman was not a guy who played free safety. He was the in-the-box, strong safety linebacker hybrid. And, here we are. He's playing like a free safety, getting interceptions, playing at a high level. I think they're going to use him a lot more, use him in rotation, and I think he has a role on this team this year. I really do.
I agree completely. My number 3 is Tony Fields. Because of the Browns' negligence at the linebacker position, Tony Fields is a guy that's going to get plenty of reps this season. He's going to likely be asked to step into a starter's role, and he has to step up this season. Otherwise, it could be a very long year for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Tony Fields is interesting. I don't know. I'm not a big fan, personally. But
no, I wish we would have went and got, someone else or someone better players or Jerome Baker.
Isaiah Simmons. He's still out there, I think. Yeah, but my third defensive guy, he played a little bit last year. We know corners. We know the cornerback position. They get banged up frequently. Cam Mitchell. Cam Mitchell is my number 3 defensive player for the Browns. He plays kind of that slot corner role, but he's a physical slot corner. And, the Browns are going to have to make a decision on Greg Newsome. I don't think he's going to be here. There's a chance that Newsome's gone even before the season. So regardless if Newsome's here or not, we know corners get injured. We know there's going to be rotation of guys. Cam Mitchell, when he played last year, played at a high level, played a good role for this team. I think you're going to see more of him. I think you're going to see him used on some nickel blitzes. I think Jim Schwartz gets him involved in the pressure game. So I think Cam Mitchell is the guy. So moving on. What?
For a second, did you guys hear that fucking rain like 3 minutes ago?
No.
It is pouring very hard here right now.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm waiting for my power to go out.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Just a heads up,
I know. Mine's gonna go out probably soon too. All right, let's move on. So, the greatest segment to ever grace podcasting, the coveted Honky of the Week award. Now, this one, and again, we should explain. Honky of the Week is multiple different things, right? Somebody who does something bad, somebody who does something good. And on today's episode, the Honky of the Week goes to a true servant in America, somebody who takes their job above and beyond, does everything at the highest level. And I'm, of course, talking about Randy from Speedway. So, Randy from Speedway, we have discovered, works the third shift at Tony's local Speedway. Now, I'm going to tell my side of this story just so we can kind of compare and contrast here, right? It is 1:30 in the morning. We are all on Discord. And one Tony Battaglio here says he's going to Speedway. Now, when questioned why he was going to Speedway at 1:30 in the morning, he answered with, "I'm going to get grilled cheese." Now,
not what happened.
Yes, it is. You know.
Not what happened.
Do you not see the evidence on the screen?
not what happened.
That's
Finish
you.
the damn story.
That's
Derek,
you.
Derek, finish your story.
Okay, whatever. Anyways, so we of course pointed out how absurd it was for Tony to go to Speedway at 1:30 a.m. to get grilled cheese, and I was sitting there thinking, what must that worker be thinking when they see a large 4-foot tall, bear-looking human walk into Speedway at 1:30 a.m. to get some grilled cheese? And Tony responds with, Randy? Oh, he's a good dude. He don't care. So your hero, your legend, your gold medal winning Honky of the Week award, that is not Randy that you see on the screen. We don't know what Randy looks like, but we're going to use that as Randy. Tony, you got some explaining to do, pal. Go ahead.
So, no, I did not go to Speedway at 1:30 in the morning to get grilled cheese, because what fucking Speedway sells grilled cheese at all? Who the hell just, oh, here's a grilled cheese, pre-cooked? No. I wanted grilled cheese. I was hungry for grilled cheese. So I walked down there, because it's literally like 100 feet from my apartment. Not even worth to hop in the whip and drive down there, right?
Whoa. Hold on one second.
No, we're not doing this.
Yeah, we are.
We're not doing this.
By whip, you either mean horse and buggy.
We're not doing this.
Or,
am I Amish? Do I look?
You do. Second of all, or you mean your bicycle, which we all know can't be true because A, there's a weight limit. B, you can't reach the pedals. So continue, Tony.
We're so funny. So funny, Derek. Anyways, yeah, no, I walked down to Speedway because it's right by my apartment. Whatever. Didn't want to wake the horses up, apparently, because, I'm fucking Amish now.
By walk, he means waddle. Continue, Tony.
Anyways, yeah, no, I did not go for grilled cheese at 1:30 in the morning. I went to get bread, and they didn't have bread, unfortunately, so I did not get my grilled cheese. But they had, like, pre-made Italian subs in the deli part, or cafe part, I should say, because this Speedway has a cafe in it. So, yeah, I got me an Italian sub, and everyone thinks they're funny. All my friends think they're the most fucking hilarious people in the world. But no, I didn't go to Speedway and get a fucking grilled cheese at 1:30 in the morning. I got an Italian sub. I ate it. It was good.
You're also talking about the same man that gets oranges and chocolate sprinkles DoorDash to his house.
I did not get orange or chocolate sprinkles DoorDash to my house. These assholes ordered me a 50-pound bag of chocolate sprinkles because okay. Listen, you got me pissed off. I just launched my hat across my apartment. Look at my all fucked up hair.
There you
Anyways,
go, full screen.
I have type 2 diabetes, right? These dickheads ordered me a 50-pound bag of chocolate sprinkles. Bro, I thought they were about to send me candy. I thought they were about to be some good friends. No, I get a 50-pound bag of chocolate sprinkles. Who the hell uses that many sprinkles? You know how long it took me to get rid of those sprinkles? You know how many random, bro. People used to leave my house with a bag of sprinkles. Who does that? It's 2023. It was 2023 at the time. I was dealing sprinkles. Bro, ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, bro. And then on top of that, I said at one time in Discord, you can hit people with a bag of oranges. They don't leave bruises. Well, they don't. I was proven correct on that, so we'll have to censor that. They fucking DoorDash me a bag of oranges. I can't win. I can't win with these people. Mentally abusive, man. Derek's my 13th reason why, dude.
I was just impressed you... Never mind. Never mind.
You were impressed with what, Derek?
Hold on. I'm just impressed you made it down the stairs. Have a good one, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Easter. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever you celebrate. I don't care. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week.